The following presentation is for mature audiences only.
Who are you?
He's a fine man.
All hell is broken loose.
He's a great broadcaster.
He's a very powerful guy.
Absolutely brilliant.
Feared by men, adored by women.
He's a smart boy. It's patriotic.
It's no big deal.
It's the end of the world.
I might as well tell you now. He's a monkey.
And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome in to another edition of The Wild Side with Eric Clark. I'm your host, Eric Clark, saying thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give my little video a watch and a listen. If you like it, like it. If you think other people are going to dig it, by all means, give it a share. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and you are following me on all the social media platforms. That way, if there's a band, a song, a video, something you want me to check out, you can hit me up with a DM or leave it in the comments below. If you are going to hit me up with a DM, just do me a favor, please. No spamming. Occasionally, I will put out posts that say, hey, I'm taking requests. What is it you want to hear? And you're more than welcome to throw your suggestions at me. Spamming me is not going to have the effect you think it's going to have. And if you are going to leave it here in the comment section, do me a favor. Join the I Concur Army. Give it a cursory read through the comment section. If you see that your suggestion has already been made, all you have to do is leave a like on that original comment and below reply with two simple words, I concur, C-O-N-C-U-R. That way it helps my old burnout resin-coated DJ brain put everything into a nice little organized list, and then I can get it into the handy-dandy notebook. Because I can look through and say this has this many likes, this many replies. You see, that's how I know things. It's pretty simple stuff. You see where I'm going here? Also, for subscribers of my channel, every Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Time, we are going live with the Wild Side live streaming from the east side of Music City. It is just 2 hours of fun and frivolity. If you want to ask me questions about radio, my time in radio, my time being rock star adjacent, if you will. I've answered a ton of those questions about how radio works, or at least my experiences in radio, because I don't claim to be an expert on anything except being me. So I really, but if you want to ask me questions, that's cool. I ask questions. Last week, we got on a pretty good conversation about how sometimes album artwork drew you into a band for the first time. So we started talking about our original draws to metal and draws to rock and roll and those experiences. So it's a place to get away from the screeching and the screaming of social media, because we do not allow politics or religion or anything like that, any firebrand topics of such. So it's just a chill place, 2 hours, Wild Side Live every Saturday. But the only way you can jump in on the chat is if you are a subscriber of The Wild Side with Eric Clark. Before we get started in today's video, I want to thank Aspen Dental, Connect 200, Music 2C, and Gothic Jewelry. They are the reasons I'm not asking you for money. So thank you very much to them. You really do need to jump in on these live chats, because this is where a lot of people will throw suggestions at me, and I have been getting such good help from my moderators that we're able to collate these suggestions and help me put them into a better frame of reference, if you will. So it's a great place to get your suggestions in. So today's video is coming from one of those. I had done a reaction to the Dutch band Within Temptation quite a while ago, and I hadn't gotten around to doing a follow-up because I had been asked, hey, do this track or do this track. So they just kind of got put into the I'll get to them category. But today we are going to be checking out another video from Within Temptation, and this one is live 2015, I believe, 2016, live at Hellfest. And this is Within Temptation, and it's featuring Tarja from Nightwish and her solo stuff. So, and it's called Paradise, live Hellfest 2016, Within Temptation. Let's check it out.
Let's hear it for her! Let's make Paradise happen!
Sharon Denadel. Is that right? Sharon Denadel? Is that how you say it? 'Cause I got a voice message from someone, I believe last time I did it, saying here's how you say it correctly. So I hope I got that right.
Let's make Paradise happen!
Sharon Denadel. Sharon Denadel. Screwing it up even more. The more I say it, doesn't sound right. Good for him.
There's
That is hair stand on end stuff right there, dude. Holy crap. That was like 3 or 4 times in that song. I got the chili bumps there. I got the chicken skin. That's double barrel. That's a double barrel whammy in your face of really good metal right there. That was Within Temptation Paradise Live Hellfest 2016, featuring Tarja of Nightwish and her solo stuff as well. Really a sensory overload, vocally speaking, on that track. That is firing way too many synapses to just watch, let alone be in a crowd to see. So absolutely incredible performance on a whole for that track. So let's go with my little triangle, my little holy trinity that I always go to when it comes to what do you think of this band. So the holy trinity is, what is the band's, when someone says, hey, go see this band, because it happens sometimes where someone will ask me to go see a band and then give my thoughts on that band. One of the things I'm looking for is this holy trinity. I think highly of myself, I guess. This triangle or pyramid of whatever. So I'm looking for, what is the energy between the band and the audience? Like, what's the chemical reaction? Who's controlling the ebb and flow of the colors and energies being bounced off of everyone involved in this endeavor? What is happening here in this room between the sponges and the spigot? So how's that flowing here? Her presence, Sharon's presence, her command of that moment, of that crowd, of that aura, of that energy. She's in charge. Whether she's trying to be or not, she is captivating. Her presence is captivating. You can't help but to look at her, and you can't help but to listen to her, because her vocals are so powerful that there's no pretense. She doesn't do onsets or offsets, so she's not ramping in her vocals when she's singing. She is thick and rich from beginning to end in her vocals. So what that does is that gives you an open and a close to your attention to it. Sometimes when singers, especially live, and I'll get to that, especially live, singers will ramp at the beginning and trail at the end because they've been jumping on the stage, they've been, doing their thing. So the settings are different than in a studio. All right, there are other aspects of you being pushed when you're doing a live show that will affect how you sing, but you don't hear it with her. She is wide in her color spectrum from beginning to end, and that keeps you there because she doesn't give you a chance to fade away. And that's what will happen sometimes when singers start to lose their verses. You just automatically go into this, okay, stop listening. Okay, stop listening. And that's how it trains, your ears train your brain that way. So what she's doing is this superb control, because this is live. This is not Memorex. And she is jumping around on stage. And the energy that's coming off of her is another instrument that's being used in the control of that triangle. So she's using her own energy, and to back it up with that vocal is just bam, bam. She's got you. And her ability to create such a wonderfully innocent sound while still creating the darkness and depth of a metal track is something to be admired, absolutely, without a doubt. So the control of that room is and then you bring out Tarja, who in herself, well, let's talk about that then. She's now just another addition to that triangle. So you're sitting in this crowd being brought into this wonderful place with this one vocal, and then the other bright side of the vocal comes in, and it's just as powerful and it's just as massive. And it brings you into this, like I said, the sensory overload almost of these bright color spectrum. This, there could be a moment where there's too much bright color going through the auditory spectrum in my brain. So the pulses that are flashing in my brain with that amount of power should be an overload. And then when she hits that operatic side, when she hits those operatic notes, again, one of those times that just gave me the chicken skin, the ability, again, to maintain a rich and thick texture through those notes and through those registers, while also, and remember, this is an added element to the difficulty of the dismount, if you will. The added difficulty is it is live. She is in front of a crowd, and she also has the captivating presence of her partner on stage. And they're working off one another, and they're feeding off of that energy. And I think in the crowd, did I see a Mario brother? I think I saw a Mario brother in that crowd. Wouldn't surprise me. It's Hellfest. I mean, but I think I did see the Mario guy. So you now have these two twin 155s just blasting you in the face. And it could definitely overwhelm your auditory senses. Without a doubt, it could very well. You could drown in that power. But what I really think brings everything back to a centered fulcrum of balance and color spectrum is the band. Man, that band is laying down an absolute monster of a foundation. It is an absolute wonderful, perfect ride of pace, of tone, of tempo, of rhythm. So you get into it with this saccadic rhythm where you're matching it and you're almost not even understanding. It's like I said, it's easy to fall into there's a band there, because you're so overwhelmed by what you're hearing coming. This is another one of those songs that I've called a blooming flower in a battlefield. And it takes a while. It's a creeper, so it takes you a minute to realize, whoa, dude, there's this massive foundation of pure metal just happening underneath. And then that solo comes in. That solo is vintage. It is rich. It is wood-paneled basements, dude. It is 8-track cassette. It is, Rianiti on ice. Ain't that nice? It is classic metal, and it was perfect. It was brought in at the right time. So the song is constructed very well. So the next part of the triangle is, how is the band themselves together? How are they grooving? And that energy is just leaking through, isn't it? Everybody in that band looked like they were having a great time. And that is an added instrument. It adds a background color. It adds an overall aura to the energy coming from out of those speakers and coming from that stage. The joy, the happiness, the fun that they're having exudes, and it pours forth and it drips onto you, and you can't help but to get caught into it. But I can understand if you get lost in those vocals and then you suddenly realize, holy crap, dude, that band is in the absolute pocket. They're absolutely in this pocket of perfect pace, tone, tempo. Everything is there right behind, like I said, this double-barreled shotgun loaded with salt rock right in your face. It was a great track. That was a very powerful performance. So again, this is another one of those performances that if you were there, like if you were in the crowd, that had to be just, life-changing, without a doubt. The power coming off of that stage, like I said, would be a sensory overload. It almost is. I mean, it's almost like it was a Saturday Night Live skit about Antonio Banderas being too sexy. And the little catchphrase that kept being used was, no, too sexy, too sexy. And this is one of those tracks where you're like, bro, you're taking me to this point where I don't know if I can handle any more energy coming off of this. So, but thank you very much. That was a really good performance. That was really enjoyable to see a group of musicians that talented having that level of fun, creating that level of energy in front of those people. It was just, again, it's the one thing that I have focused on more in my lifetime in rock and roll is that relationship. You know, the psychology of the band, the psychology of the fan, you know, watching it all come together and enjoying that synergy that strangers are having. I find that always to be so fascinating and so special. So when I get to see it, you know, the more I get to see it, the more hope it gives me about the future of rock and roll. So thank you very much for that suggestion. That was Within Temptation, Paradise, Sharon Denadel. Again, I hope I said it right. And Tarja, that was Live Hellfest 2016. Again, if anything I get wrong, anything I'm mispronouncing or misstating, politely and respectfully correct me down below. I appreciate it. It helps me understand things better. It helps me understand bands' histories, bands' legacies, their fan bases, their members, you know, changing and stuff like that. So thank you very much for that suggestion. I really appreciate it. I want to thank Aspen Dental, Connect 200, Music to See, and Gothic Jewelry. They are those keeping me from asking you for money. Again, make sure you are following me on all the social media platforms and make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. That way you can hit me up with a DM. You can leave it down in the comments below. On Saturdays, we do our Wild Side Live, and you can get into the chat and leave your suggestions and your requests there as well. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. Make sure you're looking out for each other. Make sure you're looking out for your neighbor. Try to do at least one good thing a day. I am Eric Clark, and this has been The Wild Side.